Alrighty, friends around the world, this is a follow-up on my little video posted earlier today concerning Joseph McCarthy, and I would like to give some reasons for my apparent position. If you think about what I've said in several recent videos where I mentioned Joseph McCarthy, you may come to the conclusion that I'm somewhat favorably disposed toward Senator Joseph McCarthy from Wisconsin back in the early 50s. Yes, I am, mainly because even if he had faults, he did a good work for America. He called attention to a serious problem, but actually more attention should have been called to it than it received. The problem is still serious. The problem still exists. It would have been much worse had it not been for Joseph McCarthy. Now, some of you will say, oh, we've read the history books, we've read articles, we know what people say about Joseph McCarthy. He attacked innocent people, he couldn't substantiate his accusations, and nobody ever went to jail because of the investigation of Joseph McCarthy. He was laughed out of the Senate and died a drunk alone at home with his hand on a whiskey bottle. I want to point out something that you may have missed. Since the temporary fall or collapse of the former Soviet Union, many records have become available to scholars who study Cold War history. And any of these scholars will know immediately what I'm about to say. The Soviet archives were made available through various methods to Western scholars, not just in the United States. Plus, there have been Soviet defectors who smuggled out information and documents from Russian archives and Eastern Bloc archives. Plus, that's number one. Plus, number two, now we know about Venona, and if you've never heard the word Venona, you have no basis to criticize me. And that's source number two, Venona. Briefly, were decrypted cable traffic messages between Moscow and their Soviet agents here in the United States during World War II, when supposedly Stalin was our ally. That's Venona. There are extensive FBI files. To mention a small portion of the FBI files was testimony given by codename Gregory, who was thoroughly investigated and checked out by the FBI and found to be incredibly credible, accurate, informed, whose testimony gave additional credence to that of Whittaker Chambers. There is information that backs up, substantiates McCarthy's charges of communist espionage and influence. The critics of Joseph McCarthy probably would like to remain ignorant of this, quote, I tell you again, for emphasis, recent information. There has been a deluge of recent information in the past 10 or 15 years. We know stuff today we didn't know back in 1955 and 1960 and 65, when all you folks were laughing around your cocktail parties about the bumbler and the idiot and the buffoon called Joseph McCarthy. And you guys were all engaged in groupthink, and you guys were all sheep. You guys were all misled You guys were spouting a party line and didn't even know it. For this, I forgive you. You didn't know. But now you have an opportunity to know.